everyone, Watchbot here, and today I want to present to you guys an in-depth tutorial and installation process of Spartan Anti-cheat, a revolutionary and awesome plugin that will ban or kick cheaters in the default configuration instantaneously. So let's get right into it. We need to download, obviously, the Spigot from the Spigot page, the plugin. Here it is. Build 166 machine learning 1.7 all the way through 1.12.2. It has just got an update 18 minutes ago featuring machine learning and data comparison. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to install it. All you need to do is buy the plugin. It is currently at €16.49. There you go. And once you've bought it, it should be unlocked immediately. You just have to go to resources and then purchase resources, and it should be there. Download the file. It is 403 kilobytes. I already have it. And then you have to go to updates, read more, and upload this file, which will give you a giant text file. All you need to do, while you're in this tab, hit Control-A and copy it. Then what you want to do is hit new text document. You have to name this machine_learning. There you go. Paste in the text. So there you go. And then save as a .yml. I already have it, so let's just replace it, and it should be created. If you guys don't want to go through the hassle, I will be putting a download link in the description, so be sure to check that out. I will also be putting a video by the plugin author Evangelos Dedes of him explaining the data comparison / machine learning in depth if you guys want to know how that works and how the plugin figures out by all of these numbers if you're cheating or not, in taking in account, different factors, obviously. So all you need to do, if you already have a previous installation of Spartan, just go into plugins, Spartan, and then just drag and drop it in there. It's as simple as that. If you're installing Spartan for the first time, go to plugins, drag and drop the Spartan executable jar file in here. I already have an older version in there. Delete it, and you're good to go. Then you have to start up your server, stop it, go into the same plugins folder. I should now be a Spartan folder. Go in there and put in the machine learning part. The file is pretty big. It's 140 kilobytes, but that's nothing. So once you've done all that, go ahead and fire it up. The only dependency, if you really want this thing to work at its maximum, is you need to use protocol lib. If you want as little dependencies as possible, then it doesn't need any. So there you go. It is completed. Now let's just go into the server and here we go. So here we are in the server, and to check if Spartan is installed, I already see it because it says you've enabled verbose, but by default it shouldn't say that. Just do /pl and it should say Spartan in green. If it's in red, something is wrong. You didn't install it correctly. You don't have something correctly installed, and that's totally fine. Now I have op. If you guys don't have op on your server or you use a permission system, all you need to do is copy spartan.admin or spartan.star if your permission system supports wildcards such as luck perms. I know that permission system supports wildcards. But if your permission system doesn't use wildcards such as group manager, do spartan.admin and it has the same effect. Now, what can you do with this? You can do /Spartan and you will get a lot of different commands. So here you can see version build 166, ID, you don't need to know that, and the website. So all of the commands in red you want to know, and all the commands in yellow are the ones for machine learning / data comparison. So you don't need to do those, but if you are a coder, you need to use an API or whatever, you know what to do. So you know what to do better than I do. So let's take it off with the first command on the list, /Spartan Menu. It will open the GUI with 4 items. First one being a reload config with a lot of server statistics, the TPS value. If you are bypassing the Spartan, the server version, available processors, your given memory, allocated memory, free allocated memory, total free memory, and if you're using protocol lib, which as you can see I am. Notifications, you can enable verbose and mining notifications. Verbose means that you will get information on violations of other players. Violations are basically the checks going off and saying, hey, there's someone you might want to take a look at. So that's that. Mining is basically tells you when a player mines an ore, and you might want to check up on them. So let's go back to Spartan Menu. Reset violations, so it will tell you how many violations players have triggered in the past, how many times the violations get automatically reset. If you want the violations to be reset immediately, just click this button and it will reset the violations. Now let's go to manage checks. There are a lot of them, and machine learning by default is obviously on, and yeah, you just left click to disable the check, yeah. So machine learning doesn't have a silent checking due to the way it works. So yeah, that's that. You can see all of the different things on different checks. So let's see, more packets if you're bypassing it, which is false. Enabled, silent, violation divisor, cancel after violation, and after how many violations you will be a different command. So after 9 violations, you will be warned and kicked, and so forth. So here you can disable all checks. You can disable silent for all, enable all checks, and enable silent checking for all. As you can see, it does it pretty effectively. And that is the menu. I want to enable those. So that is the menu. Let's go back to the Spartan. Spartan reload. We'll just reload the config. What else we got? We got Spartan notifications, verbose or mining. You can do that in the config, in the GUI. Spartan info player. So you can do info on different players, and you can see if they're bypassing a specific check and how many violations they have on each specific check. The clicks per second, the latency, the violations, and if you want to reset their violations. We got a Spartan King, so if you want to ping someone, that's my latency. I'm running on a local host machine, so obviously my ping is 0. Spartan Kick, which I'll just demonstrate right now. Testing. It does have a custom kick message, and this is used for every kick factor. So let's go back. Spartan. We have toggle a check, which is done much easier in the GUI. Warn, so you can do Spartan warn player and then testing, and you were warned. You can let a player bypass it, which I think is also done using info and the watchbot and then bypassing it. Nope, you have to do it using the commands. So I can do Spartan bypass watchbot and then the check. So let's see, machine learning, and then the seconds, so for 30 seconds, let's see. And let's go back to Spartan info and then watchbot. You can see here that I should be bypassing, and that's weird. So maybe it takes a bit to update the GUI. That's fine. Let's just set the time. But as you can see from the response from the command, I am now bypassing machine learning for 30 seconds. You can also see ban and unban player. Also see Spartan ban info of a player. Oh, I spelled it wrong, that's why. Spartan ban info, then a player name. This player is not banned. You can also do ban list for all players who are banned. This will get exponentially bigger with big servers and such. Spartan wave. So wave add watchbot and then remove watchbot clear. So this wave was cleared, and then run. Boom, wave list is empty, and you can also do wave list. What the wave is a ban wave, so everyone in the wave, and if you run the wave, a specific command will be executed. I would suggest that it will be a ban wave, but that is a very neat way to very effectively ban a lot of people at once, so you don't have to individually put in a single command. So yeah, Spartan report a player for I don't know. You can report yourself, but if there was another player online, I would be able to report him. Yeah. So those are all the commands that you need to know. The yellow commands you don't need to know. Obviously, they're only for machine learning. So yeah, let's go into the config and take a look at it in there. So we gotta go to plugins, Spartan, and here are the different YML files. All YML files, and they should all be. If they're not, please be sure to check save them as .yml so the plugin knows it. Here are the logs. So if you want to log to a file, this is where they will be. You can see all of the violations. I've been playing around a bit. And how many violations? So there are 140 violations currently present, and you can all see them in here. So let's go to bans. This is where all the bans will be put. If you ban yourself, there will be a unknown because you're technically not in the server, so it can't log it. That's the one thing that you want to look out for. Chat protection. Basically, for block commands, if there's a slash in front of it, in front of this word, then it will be blocked. The same with words, just without a slash in front. To add something, as you can see, it's pretty simple. You just do colon or apostrophe colon, and then anything. And then the word anything will be blocked. Not very practical, but yeah. The words alone will be blocked, but also words inside sentences, which is nice. So let's save that. Here are all the checks that you can enable or disable for each and every check. So there is a global check, so kill aura, and there are many sub-checks. Overall accuracy, angle, block, ray trace, combined direction, entity, ray trace, hits per second, hit time, impossible hits, item usage, pitch movement, yaw movement, rapid hits, rotation, hitbox, aim consistency, aiming accuracy, comparison modulo, and stability. Ideally, all of these should be true. I can see there is one that is false. But if you want maximum protection, all of these should be on. So yeah. What else in this config? Yeah, so if you have, or you see that a plugin is having difficulties with Spartan and it's interfering with it, check on the Spigot page. There is a page here. at the bottom, which will tell you compatibility, plugins that are compatible, and non-supported features. So client-side hack modules, commands executed by bucket, spigot, item attributes, you can read them through, but these are all of the plugins that are supported and that won't interfere with Spartan, something that if a lot of anti-cheats actually lack, so which is cool. Vein Miner, which is a very good plugin that's supported. Magic Spells, Tree Fellow, which is a good one. Crackshot, Craftbook, MCMMO, which is a very popular one, might I add. So yeah, total downloads 5,000 for $10, so that's that. So if you're having any compatibility issues, be sure to check the supported plugins, and if it doesn't support any of these features, then you might want to disable some of the checks here. So that's how you do that. The second biggest configuration is the config file, which is where you can put in all of your punishments. So let's go all the way down here. You can see I added something already. The kill aura, so if it's enabled at all, the violation divisor, silent, which is false, and you can also check that in the config, cancel after violation, and the punishments. So this is where I went wrong on my first video, which I won't link in the description, but if you've watched it already, yeah, it's late. I said that after nine violations, it will activate this line and say that this violation, so after 10 violations it will warn you, and then after 11 violations it will kick you. That's wrong, that's wrong, don't listen to that. What it actually is after 9 violations it will execute both of these simultaneously. And you can add another command by doing this, which makes more sense. Gotta be honest, it makes more sense. So you can do Spartan, or you can do broadcast player was detected for, and then detection. So that's something you want to put in there. I wouldn't put Spartan ban in each of these configurations, because they get banned. So I would use, if you want to ban someone, so say for velocity, don't do it instantaneously, do /Spartan wave add and then the player. That's much more reasonable. I can't type today. That's much more reasonable, and yeah, and it's a lot of less stress on the server. So let's go to the language file. This may look daunting, and it is huge if you look at it from afar, but to change it, it's really, really simple. The grammar and everything is really good, so you don't need to check for that. Just if you're in Notepad++, do Control and H and you will open the replace window. What this will allow you to do is replace the prefix of Spartan. So if you want it to be dark blue and light blue, you can do that. You can do and4, and then and C Spartan and 4. I'm just copying the prefix that is here already, and then you want to replace it with and1, and B Spartan and 1. I will link a website with Minecraft color codes in the description. And yeah, so find what and replace it with. Replace all, and all 31 occurrences were replaced. This works without fail. It's really cool, and you can use it a lot. So the one thing I do want to change again is find and C and replace it with and 3. Replace all. There are a few more than that. So there you go. Save it and you're good to go. Machine learning, I already explained how to install it. Don't mess with it. It's a huge file and it contains a lot of sensitive data that you don't want to mess with. As said before, I will link a video made by Evangelos Dedes, the author of the plugin, to an in-depth tutorial on how machine learning works, because I'm not experienced with machine learning and he made the plugin, so I'll give the honors to him. So yeah, let's go on to MySQL. This is where all of the where you can put in the MySQL database. If you have one and you want it to be as secure as possible, put in the host, the username, the password, and the database. You have to put in the database or create a database before putting it in here. Spartan can't make a database on its own. You have to do it yourself. How the table prefix will look like, so it will do log1 like that, and the port. So if you didn't change the port, that's the default port. Yeah, so let's go into settings. This is quite important. Broadcast on kick, broadcast on ban, violations reset message, so if players will see VLs have been reset. Op bypass, I will keep this on false. Log to console, bad idea. Log to MySQL, if you put in the MySQL database here, you want to put this to true and put this to false. But if you haven't, keep this the way it is. Enable permissions, keep that to true. VL reset time, this is in seconds, so Google a minute to second duration timer, but the ideal is if you want, you know, short reset times, just put it to 60 seconds, 120 or 240, something like that. Nothing too crazy. Public verbose, so if players can see verbose notifications, enable verbose on login, fall damage on teleport, chat cooldown, command cooldown, reconnect cooldown, enable mining notifications on login, wave broadcast message, run wave if it's true, max wave size, so the amount of players that are in the wave if it's automatically run, staff chat, which if you have a different staff plugin, you might want to disable that, use DPS protection and ping protection, I would put this to true, timeout protection and teleport protection, log file limit, which I believe is in kilobytes, avoid self bow damage, which if you use Elytra boosting, that's how you do or disable that. So the last configuration will be the wave configuration, where you can see all of the different people who've been banned by the wave. It's empty at the moment, but here is the separate log file for the waves. So that is the entire config laid out for you. Again, there will be a video explaining machine learning if you want to learn more about it in the description. Okay, so here we are in the test server. I have my candidate here, my Untitled Chapter here, and we're going to be doing some kill oring on him later. But right now, let's take a look at movement checks, which is one of the strong suits of Spartan. I'm going to put the difficulty on peaceful just for the time being. We'll come back to this guy in a bit. So yeah, let's go to auto sprint. It doesn't really do anything. Auto walk, I mean, come on. Blink, it will be detected, so let's go here. Boom. I filled more packets, which is the one that does it. Boat fly, that's a really interesting one. If I give myself a boat here, it's one of the glitches. So if I do this, boat fly, and yeah, it's really weird. It fails though, which is good, and as you can see, I can still go into the water. However, if I hold space, it won't work and kick me out the boat. It's because you shouldn't be able to do that. So yeah, bunny hop, you can't really detect that. It's just jumping. Dolphin, you shouldn't really be detecting that either, because it's just holding space for you while you're swimming. Elytra, I'm not sure what that does. Let's take a look. Ease the use of Elytra to fly easier. Okay, interesting. Fast ladder, which is just over there. If you can see a ladder here, there's quite a bit of devastation here. Did some testing earlier, but here's a ladder. You can test fast ladder here, and let's go up. Yep. Oh, there we go. Kicked for normal movements. So normal movements means irregular movements. If you don't know how that works, if your movements are irregular, so if you're going up a ladder faster than you should, yep, there you go. then it does that. Flight, yeah, it doesn't like flight. Follow, yeah, it's kind of useless. Glide, it does detect glide. Yep. And it gives you damage for as like a punishment for using hacks. High jump, yeah, it doesn't like that at all. Invok, in the last video I showed this and said it didn't work, and a viewer pointed out that I actually have to move something in my inventory while walking for this to actually work, because the inventory is client side, but the inventory moving is server side, which makes sense. So let's give myself some stone and just, you know, move it around the inventory, and you know, I can do whatever in the inventory right now without walking. But as soon as I walk, it says impossible inventory, and it will do the violation. Nope, I was kicked. So impossible inventory does work, or invok will be detected. You have to move in your inventory though. Jesus, that one works quite well. Yep, I fail it. Quick, get to land. Nope, I was kicked. So yeah, Jetpack, it uses a parabola instead of flying straight up, so it's the same as flight, although it uses normal movements. No clip, it doesn't like that at all. It uses fly, speed, and no fall to detect it. No fall, you need it to be a bit higher up for it to work. Huh. Let's go back up the ladder. Yeah, so 2-3 blocks. It won't do much, obviously. Yep, it definitely doesn't like that. Let's put that off. No slowdown. Let's give myself a sword. Give watchpot iron sword. And if I block now, actually, you know, I'm still on the old shield. There we go. So if I block with my shield, that's what no slowdown is, and it detects that. It doesn't like that. Nope. There we go, no slowdown. The same works with a bow, so if I give myself a bow, it will detect that. But since bow movement is slower, it will take longer than usual, so if I just do that, yeah. There you go, it doesn't like that. There you go. So that's no slowdown, no web. That is another one, so give watchpot web 64. Okay, so let's place down a trail of web. Let's activate no web. Yeah, doesn't like that. It detects it as no slowdown, which is interesting. Yeah. So parkour, it just jumps on the very edge of the block to accurately complete 4 block jumps. It's not detected because, again, there will be parkour experts who will say, "Oh, it's messing up," and, you know. So it doesn't do that. Phase, it detects it as clip. Yep, doesn't like it. Doesn't like it at all. I changed something in the config, which is why it sees it as VL0. Safe walk, it makes so you don't fall off a block. Again, it's not detectable. It's probably detectable with some sort of packet glitch, but it will take a lot of server performance, and it's not really useful. Sneak doesn't look like it's working at all. Speed hack, here's a fun one. Yep, doesn't. Yep, nope. Doesn't like it. Spider, it will detect it as fly, which, I mean, it's quite obvious why. But yeah. Step, that's a really cool one. Yep, doesn't like it at all. So basically, all movement checks that have some sort of impact are detected. That's amazing, alright? Almost all movement checks, with the exception of like dolphin or bunny hop or something like that, those aren't really detectable, and they don't really provide such as an advantage. I do realize I have killer on. Render, it's another one of those that they're client side, and they don't really do much, and you can't really detect them. So X-ray is one that yeah. So actually, what I could do myself a diamond pickaxe and diamond ore. 63 of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Spartan menu, right-click to enable mining notifications. Let's place down a bunch of ores and mine them. So I'm going to the extreme right now, but this is how mining notifications look like. And if it doesn't work, it's probably because it's low. Yep, there we go. As you can see here, it detects what coordinates, and it's not actually when I mine the block, it's when I pick it up. It tells you how much of it and who, so that's perfect. 23. Wow. So that's that. True sight, not sure what that does. Trajectories, not sure what that does. Tracers, yeah. Search, yeah. So all of these are kind of undetectable. That's why I won't be able to showcase them. Camera no clip. Not sure what that is. Base finder. Okay, base finder shows what kind of blocks are made by man. Okay. Actually, Fulbright is quite useful now when making videos. Interesting. Chat. Yeah, they're mass TPA. Yeah, it doesn't have TPA. That's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous as well. Items, let's see what's in there. Command block. Create mode only. Crash chest. Let's see. I want to see. I want to see what this does. Command block. Command. Stop. Okay, that's quite useless. Crash chest in your shoe slot. Okay, that doesn't seem to work. What's that? Crash tag. You need a name tag in your hand. Okay, kill potion. Instant health. Okay, so all of these are really not useful. Region is actually a good one. Game mode 0. I should mention that creative mode actually blocks hack detection, so if you're in creative mode or in the plot world, it won't be able to be detected. So let's take some fall damage here. Yeah, doesn't yeah. Fast seed is actually one, but I don't have hunger now. Blocks. Ghost hand is I think one that will be detected. Yeah, you can't actually mine anything with that. That's weird. Yeah. So let's go back to our little friend here. Let's just TP to him and do some experiments on him. So let's go to the combat. So here you can see what will escape from no slowdown, speed, fly, no movements, all the good stuff. So let's put on anti-knockback, and you can see here. There you go. See velocity in the left-hand corner. Velocity 6, 7. Boom. So that's anti-knockback. Auto armor. It's an detective that auto leave is kind of useless. Auto sword, all of that, kind of useless. Criticals, that's a good one. So you can see here criticals. Yeah, that's not good. But I can normal critical him. So criticals, if you don't know how criticals work, if you're in the air and you're falling, then hit someone, you get criticals. Like right now, I'm moving upwards and hitting him. Doesn't do much. But if I'm moving down, then I critical. And criticals makes it so that you always critical. It will use one hit, and then it doesn't make it at all. Fight bot. That's one. Before I actually test all of this, I might want to give instant health to him. I actually have to do this. Effect total him regen for that many, and then 16. So, yep. Let's go on full ham with Kilroy. Mind you, Kilroy does take a while to be detected, as do most of the combat checks. So I need to take him back up here. Machine learning takes a bit to be initiated. So, yep, there you go. Hit reach. Yep. There we go. It's detecting me. Kilroy. So as you can see, it's detecting me. It took a bit, but it detected me. Yeah, Killer legit. Yep, there you go, Killer. It detected me again. It should. Yep. There we go. That was hit. I think I'm out here. No stop. This can be sometimes annoying, as it turns out. As you can see. Let's try multi-art actually, which is a pretty interesting one. There we go. Multi-art is more obvious, which means that it will be more easily detected. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. Killer. Let's see. TP Aura, it will detect me for speed. Watch this. It's nuts. And yeah, the second I joined, I couldn't even turn it off. It would detect me twice. Protect. It's interesting. Trigger bot. My bad. I'm not sure. So, click aura. What does click aura do? Interesting. Okay. So those were the main hacks that you can see blocked by Spartan. Obviously, there is a ginormous list here on the Spigot page. Here, blocked hacks. Here are all of them. And not all of them are enforced. Many of them are in different hack signs. So yeah. That's that. And yeah, so machine learning here is a bit of information, things to keep in mind. It works only with active players. It takes 30 seconds to detect someone. It checks advantageous player of a fight. So if you are the one losing the fight, it won't detect you. It requires the machine learning YML file to work. Uses more CPU. Violates until the maximum configured punishment is reached. Compares mainly live data with all the saved data. It is not artificial intelligence or neural network, which is the one to keep in mind. Because this is a data comparison more than a machine learning, but it's dubbed machine learning because it's very similar to it. Data files updates will be announced on the Discord server, which is the one here, where all of the updates are posted. Lost the word there. And its main aim is to detect legit combat modules, such as kill or legit. So if you see, yep, it's detecting me already. Verst is a very good example of it, this working, but yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this in-depth explanation of Spartan Anti-cheat, an amazing anti-cheat. Definitely worth your purchase. And if you're still not convinced, be sure to go to the test server, test.vecdedes.me. I'll put the link in the description. I'll also put the link to the Discord in the description, link to the Spigot page in the description. Please go check it out. It's a really awesome anti-cheat. Just got updated to machine learning. Movement checks are one of its best checks, so Dedes will definitely improve on combat checks, as he has just done with machine learning, which is a great step in the right direction. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Leave a like. One prayer for this guy I abused a lot in this video. And if you feel like I should upload more of these videos, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified on each of my uploads.